So the engine's fire to life. 20 cars strong, the Primera Plastics 200, the ARCA Racing Series presented by Menards. This is the last 200 laps you're going to see on the asphalt before we pour the dirt on coming up in September. This time by already? All right, fans, let's do it. We waited all season long. Mother Nature put us out in July. Let's wave off. Everybody stand and let's wave these cars off. This is the biggest and the baddest and the loudest. Let's give them a big wave as they come past you. 200 laps, the ARCA Racing Series, ready to put on a show for you as they have done at Berlin since all the way back in the 1950s. That's how long ARCA's been coming here and making history, and you are part of it today. Give a big wave, turn number 1. You guys are next. They can see you, and they can feel the good vibes as the sun sets over Lake Michigan, and we're getting ready to turn this one loose for 200 laps. Charlie, thanks for coming back, and let's get ready to do this. 200 laps.
This is a fantastic crowd here at Berlin Raceway tonight. One of the best crowds we've seen all season long, and we are in store for 200 laps of absolutely hard-fought, intense competition. Carson Hocevar, Sheldon Creed up on the front row. There you see them on the video screen and on our video feed here on ARCARacing.com.
I want to say thank you to everybody who switched over from Fans Choice to ARCARacing.com to watch this one at home. If you're not here, we're sad you're not here, but the next best thing is to catch it there. But make sure you come back out next season. ARCA will be back along with the full season asphalt here as we're getting ready. We're going to have live pit coverage coming up as well. Looks like we got 2 to go. Charlie, 2 to go. Let's real quickly go to pit road. Tyler, you guys ready down there to cover this thing for us?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a fun one here, guys. We got a lot to look forward to. Live pits, as you said, we'll be down here. George and I will. It is going to be exciting down here.
All right, guys, thank you. Just checking in with you. And we're getting ready to turn it loose in a lap and a half.
Should see the lights on the pace truck go out next time by. Again, Carson Hocevar making the second career ARCA Racing Series start. He will be starting from the pole. Point leader Sheldon Creed to his outside. Creed looking for win number 4 here on the season. He has won on a variety of racetracks, one on the super speedways, one on the short tracks. He is looking for another short track victory here as he tries to close in on Zane Smith in that Sioux Short Track Challenge Championship. That's a championship within the overall championship on the tracks less than a mile in length. Sheldon about 65 points, I believe, outside the lead there in that short track championship. And a win here tonight would help him immensely as he tries to sweep the season, so to speak. You mentioned the overall championship and the short track championship.
You mentioned Talladega, you mentioned Pocono, all these tracks, and you come here to Little Berlin Raceway, as it where we think it's big, but then you compare it to those things. These are the same cars, the same drivers that go tackle those super speedways. Real quick before we turn them green, how do these drivers get excited about coming on this little half mile?
Everybody loves coming to a place like Berlin, especially when you have a great crowd in the grandstands. We do here tonight at Berlin Raceway. Lights are off on the pace truck. We will come to the green flag this time around. Field bunched up out of turn 2, down the backstretch. Great looking shot there from the top of turn 2 and down that. Not really a straightaway. Not really a straight. They turn pretty much all the way around here at Berlin.
Never stop turning left.
Pace truck now to the infield. Carson Hocevar, Sheldon Creed bringing the field to the green flag. Riley Herbst, Gus Dean back in row 2. Chandler Smith and Christian Eckes back in row 3. Field now picking up the pace off of turn 4. Denise Engel with the green flag in the air, and we are racing here at Berlin. And on the break, Carson Hocevar is going to take the lead down into turns 1 and 2.
Down in 1 and 2, shoves to the front. They've been waiting all season long to do this. He's got about 2 car lengths over Sheldon Creed, make it down to 1. Creed looks to the inside. Hocevar, if you're keeping score at home, is going to lead lap number 1.
Ooh, almost some contact. Almost some contact there off of turn 4. Creed with a big handful of steering wheel. He's going to give up about 3 car lengths now down into turns 1 and 2. As they stretch out down the backstretch, and now Hocevar is starting to stretch out that advantage, make it 5 car lengths into turns 3 and 4.
Everyone kind of fans out. The top 3 or 4, they've separated all about 2 by 2 by 2 car lengths all the way back. Hocevar is going to lead lap number 2. Sheldon Creed about 3 car lengths back, and that's another 1 back to Riley Herbst in the 3rd position.
And there you saw Christian Eckes. He dipped to the inside of Gus Dean. Dean started 4th, but he's drifted back to 7th here in the early going, already facing some pressure now from Chase Purdy in the number 8. Purdy had a spectacular end to his run at Springfield a couple of days ago, actually last Sunday, an oil line came apart in a big ball of flame as we join the battle up at the front of the field. There's Sheldon Creed now starting to close in just a touch on Carson Hocevar up at the front of the field.
It's about 3-4 car lengths, shove it down to 2 now as they hit the backstretch. Long way to go in this race, though. We're only 4 in of 200. You don't need to win it at lap number 5. They've got a long way to go. Charlie, how many pit stops are we expecting in this event today?
We've got 6 tires standing by in each pit stall. The teams can use them as they wish. We expect to see everybody come down for a 2-tire stop and a 4-tire stop somewhere along the way, as we see some of the leaders now working around some lap traffic. Scott Melton just going a lap down there as we got him double boxed. There's again the battle for that 7th position. Chase Purdy now looking to the inside down the front stretch of Gus Dean. He's going to slide to the inside, side by side through turns 1 and 2.
They're going to try. Lap car on the way there. They get close. More side-by-side battles as they head back up front. Battle for the lead. Hocevar goes up the hill. Sheldon Creed on the inside. They're down in 1. It's a battle for the lead at lap 7.
Hocevar's got a lot of home track knowledge here, despite the fact that he's just 15 years old. He's going to slide to the top side of the racetrack, maybe in tire conservation mode. Sheldon Creed wanting to run a little bit harder than Carson's ready to go right now. And Carson Hocevar is going to drop back to 4th position as Riley Herbst now up to 2nd, and Chandler Smith now jumping up into 3rd.
Yeah, you wonder if that's a strategy move or not. I'm sure they've got the guys telling them, hey, long race. We just mentioned it. Hocevar was not especially fast in practice this afternoon, only in the top 10, near the 10th position. So not sure if they were saving it or that's just what the car has or they're riding now. But Hocevar quickly from 1st to 4th in a lap and a half.
We're already working lap 10 here at the Primera Plastics 200 at Berlin Raceway. Now working to the outside of Brad Smith through turn 4. Riley Herbst working to the outside. Riley really drifting up to the top side of the racetrack right there as he tries to reel in Carson Hocevar at the front of the field. He's some 0.6 of a second behind that time around as we now work lap 11. Another slow car there to the front as they close in on Mike Basham. There's everybody kind of spread out around the racetrack right now, Matt. Everybody just trying to get some laps logged in the book, trying to get to that first pit stop again. You know, this is a very abrasive surface. You and your fans here know this is a very abrasive surface. Those who follow the ARCA Racing Series may not know that tires are going to fall off quite dramatically here. The start of the race, we were in the 17 flat range. We're now running 17.5, 17.6. So just 12 laps in, we've already given up a half second on the clock as there comes Sheldon Creed now working off of turn 4 down the front stretch to complete lap 13. He again to the outside of Scott Melton there in turns 1 and 2. Creed, the current ARCA Racing Series National Championship points leader, looking for win number 3 here, or excuse me, win number 4 of the 2018 season. Here you see Chandler Smith in the number 20. Chandler set some history earlier in the season when he became the first driver in the history of the ARCA Racing Series to sit on the pole in his first 4 ARCA Racing Series starts.
That's an impressive run.
At just
oh my goodness.
15 years of age. Sat on the pole the first 4 times he came in the race with us here in ARCA. Also picked up a win at Madison International Speedway back in the month of June. So looking for career win number 2, and he's running in that 3rd position right now as Riley Herbst drifts up to the top side of the racetrack just a touch there. That's going to allow Chandler Smith to close in right on the back bumper as they go off into turns 1 and 2. Smith now trying to make some room to the top side of the racetrack as he closes in down the backstretch in a battle for that 2nd position.
So the battle for 2nd is up to grab for lap number 16. You mentioned the surface here. There's the battle continues. You mentioned the surface, Charlie. This track has not been repaved or touched up since 1992 or 4. And part of the reason is they're afraid to mess with the surface. It's one of those things you ask anybody, don't touch it, don't touch it. So it is rough and it is an abrasive surface, but it certainly sets up some interesting tire challenges here as we get quickly already at lap number 18.
And now Chandler Smith up into the 2nd position, trying to reel in leader Sheldon Creed. The gap at the front of the field, 1.7 seconds. There you see that battle for 3rd now. Carson Hocevar closing in on Riley Herbst. Herbst running that top side of the racetrack. Hocevar is going to go way below that yellow line there in turns 3 and 4. He's going to get to the inside as they race off into turns 1 and 2. Give the 3rd position to Carson Hocevar. And there you see a little contact between Christian Eckes and Riley Herbst there at a battle for that 4th position. Eckes wants that spot. He's going to be aggressive and take over the 4th position into turns 3 and 4.
Thought Eckes was going to make a little contact there, did not, but it got real close, diving it hard down in there. While that was going on, Hocevar is able to pull away now 4 or 5 car lengths from that battle. That'll put Carson solidly in the 3rd position. Sheldon Creed still continues to lead. Chandler Smith runs 2nd, and Hocevar now back into the top 3 after fading back to 4th at lap 21.
So we had a little fun with Christian Eckes down on the driver introduction stage saying, hey, we're going to put some dirt on the surface
I heard you mention that.
Next week. Why don't you come back out? Christian not known for his dirt racing prowess, but he did pick up a win last week on the dirt mile at Springfield, Illinois. The Illinois State Fairgrounds kind of surprised everybody, including himself. He'd only had one other previous race in his entire career on a dirt track, and the second one ended up in victory lane. So Christian Eckes really showing some people some things last time out, and he is really now starting to reel in Carson Hocevar in a battle for that 3rd position.
Yeah, sticking right there with him as Carson solidly in 3rd. We continue to watch that battle. Eckes about 3 or 4 car lengths behind him. So we'll get a little bit farther back, a couple more cars in position going around the lap machine. Lap 24 now, so we're already getting 1/8 the way through this. We're doing the fractions so far, all green flag laps. Charlie, we've seen this race be marred with cautions and go on forever. Caution laps, we've seen these races go almost darn near caution-free before. So far, we're in the all-green zone.
You know, back in 2012, this race started off with a 162-lap green flag run. We had drivers falling 3 laps down as they made green flag pit stops, and then making them all back up under that green flag run. Don't know if we will see that here tonight, but right now it does have that green flag feel to it, as we're already 25 laps in the books. Chandler Smith now starting to reel in Sheldon Creed at the front of the field. He was 1.8 seconds back a few laps ago. Now he's closed that gap to 1.5 seconds. So Chandler Smith now ever so slightly starting to reel in Sheldon Creed. Maybe we'll have a battle for the lead here before too long, as everybody at the front of the field, the top 4 drivers, each of them about 1 to 1.5 seconds away from each other.
Yeah, you got to wonder how much we've got 6 tires to go through, so a full fully tire change and maybe 2 more right sides. You wonder how much you push it, how much you ride. You certainly don't want to go a lap down early in this one, but it's only a half-mile track. It's easy to do. So a lot of these guys probably taking some calculations here from the pits and spotters and everyone else, just how hard to push it or not push it. So a little riding around yet, but if we get green flag stops, that's going to really change up the dynamic as well.
We're going to start seeing these drivers, well, they're already hollering for tires right now. I think once we get to lap 75 or 80, we're going to start seeing these drivers make some decisions whether or not they're going to have to come down pit road and take, whether they take 2 or 4, we don't know. But they're going to start maybe getting themselves into green flag pit stop mode here another about 50 laps or so as we come across the complete lap 30 this time around. Sheldon Creed now working his way off of turn 4. There you see the battle between Riley Herbst and Zane Smith. Riley's all the way back to the 5th position. Christian Eckes worked his way past a few laps ago. Now Herbst starting to feel some pressure from Zane Smith in a battle for that 5th position. Zane has already won 4 times here in 2018, looking for win number 5. He's driving for MDM Motorsports.
You mentioned cars being a lap down. We'll see what the scoring comes through here, but unofficially we only have 12 cars left in the lead lap already at lap number 31 as we continue to set down a fast pace and no caution flags on the Berlin half mile. So only 12 cars left in the lead lap. If we keep up this pace, we're going to keep knocking that number down. Pace built by Sheldon Creed, 17.7 seconds. Not a lightning speed, but certainly a solid speed as the leaders all continue to kind of hang within that 1 or 2 second range of each other.
And that's still 3/4 of a second slower than he was back on lap 1. 17 flat was the quick time so far in this race. 17.834 that time around. So they're giving up about 0.5 of a second each time by. These General Tires are really, really solid product. Nothing that we can do to give them extra grip on this abrasive, worn-out track surface here at Berlin Raceway.
There are 2 ways to protect your engine. The hard way or the easy way. Introducing Valvoline Full Synthetic in the new Easy Pour bottle. Its repositioned handle, easy pull tab and spout, and anti-glug tube make delivering the ultimate protection your vehicle needs as smooth as can be. Faster, cleaner, proven. Satisfaction guaranteed or your money back.
And now let's see what that pace is this time around. We're slowly approaching that 18-second barrier. That time around, 17.831 that time around for Sheldon Creed. So still in that 17.8, 17.9 range as we come across the complete lap 35 this time around. And there you see up in the top corner of the screen, a good battle for that 5th position. Riley Herbst has it. Zane Smith wants it. Zane the current leader in the Sioux Chief Short Track Challenge point standings. He's had several wins on the short tracks here in 2018. Looking for another one here tonight. He's mired back in that 6th position, but again, you don't know if these drivers, Matt, are working on tire conservation or if this is what they have. But right now, Zane Smith looks like he's content to sit there and follow back in that 6th position.
Let's talk real quick about the short track championship bonus thing. How does that work?
Well, it's an 11 race mini series within the series. We're going to take your 10 best finishes out of those 11 races. It's race points only, no bonus points involved in that. Just whatever your race finish is, those are the points you're going to get. And the driver who accrues the most points is going to pick up that coveted Sioux Chief Short Track Championship. And it allows some of these drivers, like Chandler Smith, who isn't quite old enough to go out and compete for the full championship. It still gives him an incentive to come and compete for a mini championship throughout the course of the season. And right now, Chandler Smith was sitting up in the 2nd position going into the Springfield race last weekend, but Chandler didn't run at Springfield, so he's actually dropped out of the top 5, but he's only about 195 points back. Still got a little bit of time to get back up there and get in the fight, but everybody tracking down Zane Smith, the current Sioux Chief Short Track Challenge leader, and Zane has actually just moved past Riley Smith. He's going to move up into that 5th position as you see Zane and Riley race off into turns 3 and 4 there at the top left of your screen.
So he cracks the top 5, and that puts Sheldon Creed still leads by about a second over Chandler Smith. Hocevar runs 3rd, Eckes 4th, and Smith just cracked the top 5, about 6 seconds off the pace. So far, lap 40, all green flag and not a caution flag in sight. Hardly even much contact on the racetrack. Had a couple little things here and there, but overall the field is pretty much spread out, filled up the entire racetrack from start to finish to the backstretch and all the way back around. Pace now over 18 seconds, 18.083, so we've slowed down a whole second in 40 laps.
Yep, that's exactly what we expected. Again, very abrasive track surface here at Berlin Raceway. Sheldon Creed continuing to show the way as we work lap 43. Chandler Smith back in the 2nd position. Carson Hocevar, Christian Eckes, and Zane Smith rounding out the top 5. Riley Herbst, Chase Purdy, Travis Braden, Gus Dean, and Joe Graff Jr. round out the top 10. Joe Graff Jr. already 1 lap down as Sheldon Creed kind of setting a little bit faster pace than I think a lot of these drivers were expecting here in the early going.
Let's talk about the lucky dog and all that sort of stuff. For those who don't know, what are the rules on that? Last car in the lead lap gets to join the or no?
That's right. Caution flag comes out. The first driver 1 lap down will get the free pass to rejoin the tail end of the lead lap. Right now, that would be Joe Graff Jr. back in the 10th position, but actually, I believe the leaders may have just worked past. No, they haven't quite caught Gus Dean just yet. Gus is working his way down the backstretch as
about the whole length of the backstretch you have to go before they
right.
get him. He will be the next victim if you were. He is running in the 9th position. That'll give us 9 cars left on the lead lap if it comes to that situation. So far, still staying all green flag condition at this point. The ARCA Racing Series Primera Plastics 200.
Almost a quarter of the way in to the Primera Plastics 200. Very fast pace here in the early going. Sheldon Creed jumped out to the lead right there almost at the drop of the green flag. Carson Hocevar led the first couple of laps. Sheldon worked his way down and muscled his way down to the inside there in turns 3 and 4. And he has opened up a comfortable 1.3 second lead. Carson Hocevar 2 seconds off the lead as we're about 2 laps away from that 50 lap mark, the 1/4 distance here at Berlin Raceway.
If we see green flag pit stops, and at this point it's kind of looking like we might be leading that way, barring something else happen. What time, how many laps in do you suspect we will first see the takers of a said pit stop?
Well, I think what we're going to see is some of these drivers who may be in danger of going a lap down. Someone like Gus Dean, who he's still got a good 3 or 4 second gap on Sheldon Creed, but as soon as Gus Dean goes a lap down, which could be in the next 10 or 15 laps, would be wise to maybe make his way down pit road, throw 4 tires on, and try to race his way back onto the lead lap. If they do feel like this race has a green flag feel to it. Crew Chief Jamie Jones, he was back here in 2012. He was a part of that race. He knows exactly how that race played out, and he may feel like that's a good gamble to take. Gus did use pit strategy to his advantage when he won at Elko Speedway back in the month of July. So they're not afraid to take a bit of a risk. And right now, Sheldon Creed continuing to close in on Gus Dean and put him a lap down. So maybe Gus Dean will be the first one here to take that gamble in the next 10 or 15 laps.
Sneaking up on him, but as you mentioned, the tire change, though, you can make up a second or more per lap after you change those tires. That's how much it matters here, at least for the initial parts. So not insurmountable at all for someone to be a lap down or even more and come back with those fresh tires, while the leader, whoever else might be running on 50, 70, or even 100 lap old tires, as Hocevar is working around Chandler Smith, at least working on it. Down to the inside, side-by-side battle for second.
And there you see Hocevar dipping to the inside right there at the start-finish line. He will take over the second position. Started on that general tire pole, gave up the top spot, just a handful of laps in the race, dropped all the way back to the fourth position. Chandler Smith trying to keep Carson Hocevar in his sights, but looking hard. Hocevar opened up about a 5-car length advantage there in just one lap. So Hocevar may be thinking it's time to turn it up here a little bit.
Well, he's about 1.7 seconds last time by, and he's on the racetrack. We can see the gap cinching up ever so slightly this time by. It is 1 point. Wait for the scoring to catch up here. How about exactly what it is? 1.5. So he shaved off 2/10 on that last lap from the previous lap to your leader, Sheldon Creed. So at this rate, do the unofficial math. 7 laps, 8 laps, you'd be able to catch him up. Wasn't a good at math, but I think that's how that comes out.
You're much better at it than I am.
2/10 times 8, yeah, that's 16. That would be enough to catch him. We'll see if he keeps up that pace. On the racetrack, it looks like he's slowly but surely reeling him in.
He was 12 hundredths of, excuse me, 1/10 of a second quicker that time.
Would you like an abacus?
Yeah, I do need an abacus. I think it took me a little bit longer to figure out what I was trying to say there than a lap here at Berlin Raceway, but I'm trying to read the gap there in my eyes. I figured this out this week, Matt. My eyesight not quite as good as it used to be. And plus, I'm not good with numbers. I'm a writer, not one of those adders and subtractors.
Same here. How I ever got through college algebra, I'll never know to this day. 58 laps down, we know that. That's going to leave us to 42 laps until we get to lap 100, the halfway point. Around then, or maybe before or after, around that point, you might be thinking tires, but still, all green flag at this point. You lose a lot of time pitting under green.
Well, here's what I do know, Matt. Right now, Carson Hocevar has been faster on the racetrack for the last 5 consecutive laps. That time around, he picked up 18 hundredths of a second on on Sheldon Creed. So he picked up over a 1/10 and a half that time around. And he has closed that gap dramatically. What used to be measured in seconds, now measured in car lengths as they work their way down the backstretch. He's got the car of Gus Dean between he and Sheldon Creed, but instead of being 2 seconds back, he's now about 7 car lengths back as they work their way off of turn 4.
Less than a second now, the deficit, so he's definitely running him down. Whether he's being told by said spotters or pits to go or not go, we don't know for sure what the strategy is, but we do know on the racetrack, although he's dealing with a little traffic at the moment.
Yeah, Brad Smith to the bottom side of the racetrack. That's going to leave Gus Dean with nowhere to go as Hocevar now works to the bottom side of Gus Dean off into turns 1 and 2. Let's see if he can get back on the pony and start closing in on Sheldon Creed. Even with that traffic in play, he still had gained some time up until that very last lap. He dropped a half a second that time around.
A lot of traffic. He hit just the wrong spot and got held up a little bit. Now he's going to have another lap machine to deal with, and Brett Holmes. So that's another car he's going to have to deal with to get up, have a shot. But really, the way this race is setting up with all green flag laps, these cars are going to be dealing with lap cars the entire rest of the race like this. It's not going to be a green, wide open racetrack the way this is looking.
And we have 17 cars still on the racetrack. That still gives a lot of race traffic. Especially with a couple of these cars that you're catching every 7 or 8 laps. You really don't ever get a break from it here at Berlin Raceway. And now Carson Hocevar doesn't have anybody for the moment between he and Sheldon Creed. Let's see if he can start closing that gap in ever so slightly. He was about a 1/10 of a second quicker that time around. Just fractionally quicker, about 2/100ths of a second that time by. So looks like Sheldon Creed and Carson Hocevar have equalized their lap times ever so slightly, as there you see Sheldon Creed working to the bottom side of Tyler Hill, making his ARCA Racing Series debut this evening for Andy Hillenberg in the Fast Track Racing number 10. There's Carson Hocevar working to the inside of Tyler Hill off into turns 3 and 4. Now he's got some clear racetrack, Matt. Let's see if Hocevar can start reeling him in.
This is the clearest shot he's had the entire, basically since wrapping up back to the second position. Got some clear racetrack in front of him. The next car to go a lap down is going to be Riley Herbst, it looks like, and he's a ways off. So we'll see what he can do with the times. Checking him down, it was just under a second at its peak. It's 1.1 or so now for Hocevar. Can he run him down? It looks like he is catching him on the racetrack. We'll watch the time as they come past this time. Meanwhile, they go 3 wide and 3 and 4. They thread the needle over there. I think everybody got through, but some tense moments for a minute as a Battles car 1 and 2 laps down try to work their way through.
For more than half a century, Sioux Chief has been the name to know for quality American-made rough plumbing products. It's the choice of contractors with stylish and innovative shower drains, bracketing systems, and a full line of supply fittings. Sioux Chief expansion grip systems provide solid connections. Protect your ice maker, dishwasher, toilet, or washing machine from harmful water hammer by installing a Sioux Chief mini rester that's guaranteed for the lifetime of your home's plumbing. Sioux Chief is your plumbing solution. Available at your nearest Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Closing in on the 70-lap mark here in the Primera Plastics 200. All green flag racing to this point. Sheldon Creed continues to lead as we work lap 70. This time around, Carson Hocevar sitting back in the second position. Chandler Smith, Christian Eckes, and Chase Purdy jumping up into the top 5. That time around, he slipped past teammate Zane Smith to take over the final position there in the top 5. Zane Smith back to 6th. Travis Braden 7th. Riley Herbst, Gus Dean, and Joe Graff Jr. rounding out your top 10. As we get a scoring refresh here, we'll let you know exactly how many cars we have on the lead lap. Looks like we're going to have about 7 cars on the lead lap.
Herbst will be the last car, I believe, unofficially on the lead lap. And Hocevar is running him down and running him down in a hurry. He is there. It went from a second to 6/10. I dare say it's 3/10 now. Down in 3 and 4 at lap 71.
And that's exactly what happened to Carson Hocevar back about 15 laps ago. Happened to Sheldon Creed that time. He got slowed down by a couple of lap cars. Just wrong place, wrong time. And now Carson Hocevar all over the back bumper of that number 28 Toyota as they work their way off into turns 3 and 4. And Hocevar really working, trying to find his way past as they're working their way past Riley Herbst. Riley started about up in that third position.
Yeah.
Riley Herbst already a lap down here, 72 laps in.
So that'll leave 7 cars in the lead lap. Travis Braden will be the next victim. He's quite a bit up, distance up there yet, but they will catch him if they keep running down this pace. So far, it's been all Sheldon Creed now for about the last 50 laps. Hocevar second, Chandler Smith third.
Closing in on lap 75 this time around. Sheldon Creed leading by about a quarter of a second over Carson Hocevar in second. Looking at the leaderboard, Toyota has 5 drivers up in the top 6. The only driver not in the Toyota up among the top 6 is going to be Carson Hocevar, sitting second in a Chevrolet. First Ford on the racetrack will be Travis Braden, back in the 7th position. Been a dominant season for the Toyota Brigade. They locked up the ARCA Racing Series Manufacturers Championship back in week 12 as we've got a change for the lead. Carson Hocevar working his way back underneath Sheldon Creed down there in turns 1 and 2 that time around. So let's move that bow tie to the top of the leaderboard. Sheldon Creed now back to second as Carson Hocevar will take the lead to complete lap 77.
So lap 76, a lead change again. Hocevar back to the front after backing up for about 50 or so of those laps that he did lead. You wonder if is he moving up, or people slowing down, or a combination of conservation? We don't know. A lot of strategy, though. We do know we're approaching the halfway point, 21 laps away, and this race is looking like it did a few years ago when we went green flag for nearly 170 laps. So far, so good on the green flag. The yellow has not yet made an appearance, now hitting lap number 79.
It's been a long time since we've had a caution-free race here in the ARCA Racing Series presented by Menards. We had a 125-miler up at Pocono International Raceway. Go caution-free back, I believe, in 2012. Could we do it here tonight? Well, we're almost halfway through the Primera Plastics 200, lap 80 on the board next time around. Still caution-free. And take a look at those lap times at the front of the field, Matt. Right now, it's Carson Hocevar with an 18.1. Sheldon Creed going to match him at an 18.1 that time around, but last time it was a 17.9 to an 18.4, as kind of inconsistent lap times up at the front of the field for Sheldon Creed have allowed Carson Hocevar to open up about a half a second advantage as they work their way down the backstretch.
Yeah.
Again, lots of lap traffic. Natalie Decker now between the lead automobiles as Tyler Hill also to the top side of the racetrack.
Traffic is going to be a big factor now here for several laps. Carson's already got through 3 or 4. He's got to get through another 3 and 4. And then Creed's got to do the same thing, the same feat. There's cars left and right and up and down. Hocevar goes up to the top side of the racetrack trying to get around everybody. No dice so far. There he makes a move up to the outside. Hocevar cleanly passed two more down before some more clean racetrack.
Carson Hocevar stretching the advantage down the backstretch. It's now almost a full second advantage over Sheldon Creed in second. Creed to the outside of Brad Smith there. Almost some contact there. Smith drifted up the racetrack just ever so slightly. Doing a good job keeping that car under control, but almost some contact
there was contact. You can see the fenders now crinkled on the 48 ride, so some definite contact there. Could have been our first caution flag. First car in the pits. Brett Holmes goes down to the pits at lap number 84. I assume this is going to be a routine stop, and it is.
They're going to go to the right side of the Kenny Schrader-owned number 52 Toyota, carrying some sponsorship from Holmes 2 Excavation down in Munford, Alabama. That is Brett's father, Stacy Holmes, also heavily involved in that team.
Looks like a two-tire stop is all. Let's go to pit road.
2 tires and fuel, and he's off that quickly, guys.
That was it, just what George said. 2 tires and fuel in about 13 seconds, and he's back out the door. This Brett Holmes, so he's the first car to pit under green flag conditions at lap number 86.
Closing in on the halfway point here at Berlin Raceway. 87 laps in the books this time around. Carson Hocevar started from the General Tire pole. He dropped all the way back to 4th position by lap 25, and he patiently worked his way back up to the front of the field, took the lead for the second time on lap 77. And now opened up about a 1.6 second advantage.
Let's watch the leader, Hocevar, and we know Holmes just pitted. Watch Holmes probably drive right by him here in a minute or two. As Holmes is able to get around one of the lap machines, but Hocevar continues to stretch out the lead. Despite the fact of the traffic, it's still 1.7 seconds.
Carson Hocevar stretching out the lead now over Sheldon Creed. Christian Eckes now moving up into the 3rd position. He's worked his way past his Benarini Motorsports teammate Chandler Smith. Smith back into the 4th spot. Chase Purdy rounding out the top 5.
And we just talked about it. Holmes just drove right around Hocevar. Those fresh tires drove around Hocevar, made him look like he was going about 15 miles an hour slower. Those fresh tires made all the difference. Holmes is a few laps down now because of the pit stop, but those fresh tires, 5 laps total, but he drove right past Hocevar, who still has not pitted. So far, Holmes the only one of the 16 cars or so that are still running that have not pitted.
So Brett Holmes running a 17.6 second lap that time around. Leader Carson Hocevar running an 18.5 second lap. So that's exactly just how important fresh General Tires will be here, as we're closing in on the halfway point, Matt. Just about 7 laps to go until we see the cross flags from Denise Engel on the flag stand. She's had a pretty quiet night so far. She's waved 1 flag to this point. Oh, there you see her waving the move over flag.
Yeah, the move over is the only one we've really
busy
seen
with that one, but no caution flags to this point.
Car either head to the pits or off the pace. 10 machine Tyler Hill looks like he'll be the next car to pit. Almost got hit there coming taking the slowdown. There's not a whole lot of slowdown lane here to get out of the way. There we see the shot. He's headed down pit side.
And speak of the devil, caution flag will be out for the first time here this evening, as we are 94 laps in the books.
Let's go to pit road.
Yeah, we got Clifton coming in down here. Obviously now with the yellow flag, it'll be a lot busier down here. Maybe just going through there is Clifton. Man, doesn't look like anything's wrong with him. He just passes through. A lot of teams getting ready here for some pit road action.
Yeah, he probably stayed out because the caution flag came out. He's going to go back rather than going 3 or 4 laps down. He'll be bound back on the 1 or 2 laps down. Not sure what the caution flag was for, guys, but get ready down there. As soon as the pits open up, we'll let you know. And ARCA pace truck's going to pull out. Berlin safety truck's coming out. I'm going to assume this caution is for debris.
We hear the pit guns getting ready down there, as I believe all the lead lap cars, well, certainly all the lead lap cars will come in the first time they are eligible. Right now, just 6 drivers on the lead lap. Looks like 7th position, Travis Braden will be the free pass recipient here under the first caution flag of the night here at Berlin Raceway. Again, 95 laps in the books. First caution flag of the evening here in the Primera Plastics 200.
So waiting for pit road to open. The green light comes on. All right, guys. Tyler, George, there's going to be a lot coming at you quick. I guess let's keep an eye on the leaders, Hocevar and Creed especially. Eckes runs 3rd. He's a little farther back, though, in the actual running order. So pit road is about to get as busy as it's going to get. Expressway at 5 o'clock on a Friday afternoon. We're getting ready to fill it up. We'll see who goes in. Charlie, is there anybody who's not going to pit?
You'd be crazy not to pit right now. We just saw exactly why you would want to. Brett Holmes back in the 15th. Well, he was back in the 15th position, now up to 12th. But Brett Holmes was 1 second quicker. You'd be insane to not keep pace with who everybody else is. Now, there you see Carson Hocevar coming down, Sheldon Creed, Christian Eckes, Chase Purdy, Chandler Smith, Zane Smith. Those are your lead lap cars. Also, Travis Braden joined them as he did pick up
Hocevar's in the pit. 2 left side tires, getting ready to put in fuel. I see no adjustments being made on the car. Going to the other side, they're putting right side tires on it, putting another can of fuel in it. Carson Hocevar just about ready to exit the pits.
Yeah, we got Zane
Hocevar out.
Zane Smith doing 4 tires on the 41 car. We got 10 doing right sides only. We got a lot of action down here. The 27 car over here of Travis Braden, 4 tires for him as well, gassing for him as well. We also got, looks like we got the 8 car pulling out. That was Purdy. He got 4 tires. And that's it for now for pits right now down here on the left side.
And it looks like Christian Eckes will win the battle off of pit road in car number 15. That is the JBL.com Toyota for Benarini Motorsports. Christian picking up the win last time out at Springfield, Illinois. Now the cars 1 or more laps down, making their way down pit road.
Yep, Joe Graff Jr.'s got left sides right now. Looks like they may go only 2 tires here. Coming right in also will be last year's rookie.
Decker, right side tires. Now they're putting left side tires on it. 1 turn in the right rear. Down to you, Tyler.
Yep, we got the 67 over here of Scott Melton. Right sides right now. Gas looks like just for the 67. Just a little adjustment here for the 34 of Mike Basham. Nothing more than that right now.
Okay, so a little bit of variety of everything on pit road. We saw more or less all the guys on the lead lap do 4 tire changes and everything else, but some of the other guys who may or may not have been on the lead lap decided to do, some did fuel only, some did adjustments, and some did just 2 tires, so kind of a variety of stuff down there on pit road. So bottom line is, I think, Charlie, figured out all the leaders took 4 tires and fuel. Some of the guys 1 or more laps down maybe did not, maybe took 2, maybe took none. So we heard a variety of that, but all the leaders looked like they took 4 back to pit road.
Yeah, guys, 6-7 of Melton. Looks like they're trying to cut something off on the bottom there, trying to get, looks like, some adjustments. They are going to put all 4 tires. The left sides come on now. Long pit here for the 67.
You can't fake greatness. Not on the track and not in the chip aisle. Like a seasoned driver behind the wheel, Hers chips take you from caution flag levels of hunger to checkered flag feelings of satisfaction. When it comes to race day snacks, the signature crunch and endless flavors of Hers leaves the competition in a pile of chip dust. Don't settle for anything less than the champions of the chip aisle. Hers, forever good. Available at Menards.
Melton had some issues in practice earlier today. I was down looking over that number 67 car. Actually, really nice looking car, but had a lot of yellow paint on the right side of that. He drifted up and flipped the wall here on the front stretch back in practice and scuffed up the right side of that automobile. But good to have Scott here with us. I believe making his ARCA Racing Series debut here in the Primera Plastics 200. There you see Travis Braden get the wave around. He is going to, actually that's Brad Smith getting the wave around. Brad making up a lap here under this caution flag. He got the wave around the pace truck. Travis Braden did pick up that free pass. He will rejoin the tail end of the lead lap and restart in the 7th position as we come across the complete lap 99. Next time around, we will get the halfway signal and the green flag to restart.
Quickly to pit road.
Primera 200.
Yeah, guys, looks like the 10 car Rick Clifton came back in, did a little tweak out in front. 34 car, that comes back in. Basham, he got right side tires. I got a lug nut right in front of me. Hopefully that's not from the 10 car of Clifton. But a lot of action here on pit road as we get to go back to green.
Hopefully that's a lug nut off the old wheel and not the new one. All right, we're going to turn them loose again after the round of pit stops when it's all said and done. How about that? Sheldon Creed back up to the lead. Hocevar had been leading. We'll have to restart, looks like in the 4th position. Get ready to turn them loose. Christian Eckes, Sheldon Creed, Chandler Smith, Carson Hocevar, Zane Smith, and Chase Purdy, your top 6 on the lead lap. Turn them loose at lap 100, exactly the restart. Off we go.
Green flag here at the stripe as we come across the complete lap 100, halfway home. Here in the Primera Plastics 200, Christian Eckes is going to dart off to the lead. Wow, some contact there between Carson Hocevar and Sheldon Creed as Hocevar in a shower of sparks off into turns 3 and 4. A good side-by-side battle for 3rd between Zane Smith and Sheldon Creed, and give that spot to Zane Smith as Creed now gets a little tap there from Chandler Smith. Creed doing a good job to hold on to that car as he got a big bump from Chandler Smith down in turns 1 and 2.
Wow, and Hocevar's car is bottoming out bad. I don't know if that's a tire pressure thing or what that is, but it's sparking big time down in 3 and 4. As the pressures come up a little bit, that issue will resolve itself.
3-wide battle for that third, fourth, fifth, and sixth position. There you see Zane Smith to the inside of Carson Hocevar for second. The battle for fourth, fifth, and sixth behind as a lot of good hard racing. There you see Chase Purdy to the inside of Sheldon Creed. Chandler Smith in that battle as well. Everybody at the front of the field trying to make hay while they can. Smith to the inside of Creed as we see now Chase Purdy to the inside of Carson Hocevar. Great racing here at Berlin.
Wow, third place became the hot spot on the racetrack. You got 4 cars vying for the same spot. Hocevar, Purdy, Creed, Smith, all jammed in there. These cars were separated early on, not so much anymore. Look at how tight they are again. Hocevar's faded back to 4th, getting passed on the inside by, well, everybody. Purdy, Creed, and now Smith part of the action too on the inside.
This is exactly what Carson Hocevar did in the first half of the race. He kind of dropped back a little bit at the drop of the green flag. He's doing exactly the same thing, maybe letting those tires come up to temperature, up to pressure. As now Carson Hocevar drifting back to the 5th position as Christian Eckes, just like he did last week, kind of waited until the second half of the race. Once he got out front, he drove off. He has now opened up a 1.5 second lead over Zane Smith in second, Chase Purdy third, Chandler Smith 4th, and Sheldon Creed now up to 5th as Carson Hocevar has dropped all the way back to 6th.
So Eckes really in about 5 laps has all stretched it down to almost 1.5 seconds, which is pretty impressive. And already some lap cars up with our leaders quickly. And as you mentioned, I think the big story is Hocevar's faded back, but this could be a strategy thing. 92 laps still to go here at the Primera Plastics 200. So that's going to be one of the situations to watch. Who's conserving what got left? The field pretty well spread out now. The length of the backstretch, already a couple cars going more laps down. Down into turn 1, the leaders go. The lead for Eckes, 1.2 seconds.
Christian Eckes leads down the backstretch. Zane Smith in second, Chase Purdy third. Chandler Smith now up to 4th. He's going to try to put some pressure on Chase Purdy in a battle for that 3rd position. There you see Sheldon Creed tagging on. He is the final car in the top 5. There's that battle for 3rd right there. Chandler Smith trying to make some room to the bottom side of Chase Purdy. Now off into turns 3 and 4. Smith to the inside, Purdy to the outside as they work their way through turn 4.
And gets wheels down right near where the dirt is, the grass. Not able to make the pass. It's Purdy and Smith. So now Smith gets past, put him in the 3rd position, shove Purdy back to 4th at the moment. That's going to make Sheldon Creed rounding out your top 5. Hocevar 6th. Travis Brayton 7th, and Gus Dean. Only 8 cars left in the lead lap at this one. Winding down the laps now, past halfway, 112 out of 200 to go.
Yeah, just 88 laps remaining. Christian Eckes continues to lead. He's got a 1 second advantage now over Zane Smith. Zane starting to close that gap ever so slightly up at the front of the field. Chandler Smith starting to reel them in at the front as well. He was a couple of seconds back a few laps ago, now 1.7 seconds behind. As now we see Sheldon Creed all over the back deck of Chase Purdy off of turn 4 and down the front stretch. Your current ARCA Racing Series point leader trying to make some noise here as we wind towards the conclusion here at Berlin Raceway.
So the leaders staying a little bit closer to each other than we saw in the previous run. The distance from 1st all the way back to Hocevar in 6th is about 4 seconds, but just 2 seconds among the top 5. So cars sticking pretty close together yet as laps continue to click off under green flag conditions. Only 1 yellow flag thus far. And if we keep up this pace again, it's going to be more of a testament to who falls off and who doesn't. Who may go on to victory lane in this one, lap 117.
Zane Smith now 0.8 of a second behind. He's picked up a 1/4 of a second the last 2 laps around. Christian Eckes holding on to the lead. We've got 116 laps in, 84 to go here at Berlin Raceway, the Primera Plastics 200. Thank you so much for joining us here. ARCARacing.com, free live video stream of the Primera Plastics 200.
Eckes now lead down to 0.7 of a second. Smith is coming slowly but surely, reeling him in amongst the lap cars. Continues to wrap him up. Cut down the distance. Now it's down to 4 or 5 car lengths And now Chandler Smith about 1.5 seconds back, about 15 car lengths behind that. So still a ways to go to catch the leader at lap 119 now, but slowly but surely catching him now at the start finish. It's down to about 5 car lengths with another lap machine in the way.
Working their way to the outside of Tyler Hill down the backstretch. Zane Smith continuing to reel in. Christian Eckes at the front of the field, now a half second the gap between first place Christian Eckes and second place Zane Smith. This time across the stripe they complete lap 120 and it still remains about a half second gap at the front of the field. Chandler Smith kind of holding station back in third. He's 1.5 seconds back. Sheldon Creed now up to fourth. Chase Purdy rounding out the top 5 as Carson Hocevar sits sixth. Gus Dean in seventh. Travis Braden, the final car on the lead lap, back in the 8th position.
So if they run at the moment now, the distance now still 0.4 of a second. Eckes' lead continues. Have been about that way for the last number of laps. As more lap cars are going to become a factor. Now it's down to 2 car lengths. No lap cars, exception of 1 for several laps here. So some good clean racetrack. To have a shot at it, let's go to pit road.
Yeah, guys, I just went over to Zane Smith's team asking what did they change on that car in the pit stop that maybe make the car a little bit better. They said 4 tires and changed the sway bar a little bit. That's what's getting Zane Smith towards the top.
Hard to determine exactly what those adjustments should be when these tires give up just as much as they do. You're just struggling to hold on to that race car at one point.
The adjustment is new tires. I think that's
exactly
the best adjustment you can make. But maybe you get a bad batch, maybe you get a better set, maybe things cool off a little bit. You never know. But this spread the field out a little bit different, and we've seen some positions move. Notably, Hocevar, who had led quite a bit, has now faded back to 6th. Purdy is back to 5th now. Sheldon Creed, who had led for several laps, is now back in 4th. And Eckes has spent the most of the time, basically, since we went pit stops around lap 100, has spent the time in the front.
Christian Eckes last season spent most of the year wondering when that first career win was going to come.
Car around to the backstretch, 48 goes around.
Yeah, Brad Smith spinning down the backstretch.
Smith spins around at lap 126.
And that will put us under the caution for the second time here this evening.
So now the question is, does anybody stop and take gas, or did they do anything, or did they gamble, or did we take tires again thinking we might stay green? What do you do here?
Well, I don't think that they will come down just for fuel. They should be able to make it the rest of the way on fuel. The question is, did Christian Eckes take 2 or 4 tires on that first stop? He came in.
allowed to get him out quicker,
He came in back in the 4th or 5th position and came out way ahead. So I'm going to say he gambled and took 2. Everybody else took 4. So now, if we come back and take 4 tires, Christian will still have the advantage with a little bit more grip. So Christian Eckes may be in the catbird seat here.
We believe in cleaner air for our families and yours. That's why we created DuPont Air Filtration. We use science and technology to remove impurities and airborne allergens, protecting not just you, but also your heating and air conditioning system so that you can breathe easy, knowing that you're taking the best possible care of your family. Enjoy cleaner air with our great selection of air filters in our plumbing department today. DuPont Air Filtration, available at Menards.
Pits are open, Charles, as we look. So is this going to be one of those monkey see, monkey do situations, or is this going to be predetermined, do you think, it's who's going where?
I think they all have their mind pretty much made up, but I think he also may see someone, if Eckes doesn't come down pit road, I think there will be a couple more who decide to stay out. But right now it looks like everybody, looks like they're going to decide to stay out on the racetrack. I think they'd be down on that low side.
A little too early after the last yellow?
Might be a little bit too early here yet, as it looks like Christian Eckes is going to come on down, and that's exactly what we exactly what we said. He's going to come down for 4 tires.
So right Eckes and Creed are the only 2 takers, guys. What do we got?
Yeah, we have Christian Eckes coming down as well as the points leader Sheldon Creed. Top 2 guys in the top 5 coming out. Left side's right now coming on the car for Eckes. Right now, right side's there for Creed. It looks like they're running around. It looks like they're putting just a little bit of gas in. 4 tires there now. And still working on the right side there is Creed. Creed's right side's gas and go. Eckes is still working on the 4 tires gas. Not quite out yet. Checks the front, gives her go, and that way he goes.
So Eckes says gas did take all 4. Yes, go ahead, George.
32 of Gastine came in. Got fuel only, no tires, 1 adjustment on the right rear and back out.
Well, this could be a race-winning move for Christian Eckes. Even if he maintains lap time for now, 50 laps from now, those 4 tires are going to be a lot better off than everybody who came down earlier. So Christian Eckes with a bold strategy move here at lap 129 could be a race-winning move.
If we stay green, it's possible to play in his favor. If we go yellow, maybe not. We'll see how that pans out. And then we just, George just mentioned a couple cars only taking fuel that are a lap or so down. So here comes the rest of everybody else. The 18 machine, by the way, of Riley Herbst. Got the lucky dog.
52 of Brett Holmes is in. That's a fuel-only situation. Pushed off. He's off.
Riley Herbst coming down. Looks like it's going to be gas and go for the 18. Checking the front. Gas. Maybe a little adjustment to the tweak. A little bit of the wedge. Gives a turn. And away they go.
Okay, so all sorts of different strategies being played out here at lap 129.
Matt, while we do have some time under caution, do want to acknowledge the folks who have made this live stream possible here on ARCARacing.com. First and foremost, we'd like to thank everybody here at Berlin Raceway for their willingness to help us out here in what is kind of a tight spot. Getting rained out here back in July. Our friends at MAV TV not able to come back and put this one live on the air, but we'd certainly like to thank our friends at Menards, Axel, Blockit, DuPont Air Filtration, iBox Springs, the Her Foods Company, Holly EFI, JRI Shocks, the Scott brand, and Sioux Chief, UNOH, and Valvoline. Thank you all very much for your support of the ARCA Racing Series, and thank you for all that you do and allowing us to bring this live stream to our fans here at ARCARacing.com. Now we've got a very devoted audience. Everybody tuned in here. Kind of late notice. We put this thing together kind of right at the last minute, but certainly do appreciate you joining us here on what I know is a very busy Saturday night all across the country. A great night for racing here at Berlin Raceway. You know, Matt, I woke up this morning in Toledo, saw that it was
probably
a little
pouring.
gray,
There was
a little damp this morning. I'm like, oh no, not again. Got on the road, made it about to Lansing and started seeing the sunshine. And I kind of figured we were going to have a much better day this time around, and it is exactly what we have here. A beautiful night here on the western side of the great state of Michigan, as we've got a great crowd on hand, great field of cars here as we work lap 132. Zane Smith holding on to the top spot. Chandler Smith sitting in the second position. Chase Purdy, Carson Hocevar, Travis Braden, the top 5. Sheldon Creed and Christian Eckes, the 2 drivers who did come on down pit road, along with Gus Dean. They round out the 8 cars that are on the lead lap.
Brad Smith was able to refire the car, by the way, join the tail of the field. He's several laps down, but joining the living nonetheless, so he'll join the tail of the field. It looks like we're getting ready, hopefully one to go the next time or two back here. Again, you mentioned the weather and everything. Boy, back in July, there was no way that race was going to happen out here. And we got great late August weather out here, cloudy. We got a little partly sunny towards the end of the night, not hot. Nice little breeze going on. It is perfect day for a motor car race, as they say. As the 52 machine, Brett Holmes stops on the backstretch for mystery reasons unbeknownst to anybody. Dead right in front of us there, right across the midsides of the racetrack. DOA at the moment, so we will not be going back green.
Brett's had kind of a trying season, started the year off in the family-owned number 23. The performance just wasn't what they were looking for, and said, you know, I think the easiest way to kind of evaluate everything would be for us to kind of move over to Ken Schrader Racing. Of course, Ken, the winning championship team owner in 2017 with Austin Terrio behind the wheel. Brett has had some level of success in this car, but having some problems of some sort here tonight. He is dead stick down the backstretch. We will wait for a push truck to go out and retrieve him as we work lap 133 here in the Primera Plastics 200.
So caution laps do count. Of course, we have to end this race under green flag conditions.
I don't think we're going to have 67 laps caution in a row, though, thankfully.
No, hopefully not. Hopefully not. Otherwise, yeah, it'll be a long night.
Long night,
We've had a couple,
really long night.
Couple of those here before, but yeah, the way this race is looking, been some really good racing up front. We've seen these races go all sorts of different directions over this year. As I mentioned, ARCA's been racing here since the 1950s. That's how long this series has been out here in its different incarnations. And Berlin back then was a half-mile dirt track, and my how things change and how they still stay the same. There we go, one to go. That machine, the 52 machine of Holmes has been removed, or refired is a better way to look at it. He joins the tail of the field. Pace lights go out among the Berlin pace truck. So your front row, Zane Smith, Zane Smith, and Chandler Smith, your front row. That is Chase Purdy, Carson Hocevar, Travis Braden, Sheldon Creed, Gus Dean, and Christian Eckes. Riley Herbst, the 9 cars on the lead lap. We got a Lucky Dog Award. Very Slow run out of the backstretch. We'll see who saved stuff and who didn't.
So the reason that Brett Holmes stopped down the backstretch, actually he gained a lap down on pit road.
Oh, so they let him catch back up.
What they did is they held him so he didn't gain that lap that he didn't earn. So no problem for Brett Holmes, just getting him back on the lap that he belonged as Denise Engel waves the green flag, and we are back underway with Zane Smith showing the way off of turn 2, but look at that. Chandler Smith to the high side. Side-by-side battle for the lead off into turns 3 and 4, and they're side-by-side through the top 6 as they work their way to complete lap 135.
Boy, what a battle up front. This jammed all the leaders up. We got fresh tires, old tires, new tires. 3 wide tires in there. Hocevar's part of the sandwich. They make it work. 3 wide at Berlin Raceway doesn't work so well. Hocevar knows that. Gets out of the gas and has to settle back from the 4th to 6th position to save from disaster.
And there are those 4 tires on Christian Eckes' car. Look at him knife his way through the field. Eckes already working to the inside of Chase Purdy. He's going to take that 3rd position down the backstretch. Christian Eckes on the move in the number 15 JBL.com Toyota for Venerity Motorsports.
Wow, he's making it look, like you said, like a knife through butter, just cutting his way through now, up to the 3rd position, all the way back to the 7th or 8th position, a lap and a half. We'll see what he can do with it this time. The car is clearly quicker. Lap Machine Smith is down to the inside. They're going to run him over.
Ooh, wow.
That's not going to work there. You're going to have to wait another lap. Smith gets out of the way. Almost a disaster.
Eckes really had to jump on the binders right there to get that car slowed down, but he's again looking to the bottom side of Chandler Smith down the backstretch. Eckes with those fresh tires making light work of the field as he's already back up to 2nd.
Wow. Up his way through now up to 2nd. We'll see what he can do with the leader at 0.6 of a second up to Zane Smith. I have a feeling he's going to run him down quickly. We only had 2 cars in the lead lap stopped for tires. So theoretically, Eckes should be done with pit stops for the day unless something unforeseen happens, and we'll see if he can hang on to it for another 60.
Some big contact right there. Chandler Smith into the side of Sheldon Creed. He's going to get turned sideways right here at the start-finish line. Everybody doing a great job to avoid Chandler Smith, but that battle for 3rd position went haywire. Chandler Smith banged off the driver's side door of Sheldon Creed. Got her turned sideways. Ooh, he hit that drain down there on the bottom of the front straightaway. Did a little hop right there in that number 20 Craftsman Toyota, but Chandler Smith going to spin to bring out the 3rd caution flag of the evening. Now, Chandler's a driver that's got some tires remaining down in the pits, but I believe he only has those 2 tires down there.
Well, you assume he's going to take them now, seeing he was the caution flag, and he probably did some, at least a little bit of flat spot into those tires. You imagine now is the time to play here.
And look at this contact right there, boom. And actually, it looked like that right front tire made contact with the car of Sheldon Creed and kind of took the steering wheel out of his hands almost.
Kind of just zipped it.
That's right. Here's a great view right here from the inside. There's Chandler Smith coming right at you. Look at everybody to the top side of the racetrack there. Brad Smith doing a good job locking up the brakes right there to not get in to Chandler Smith, who was stopped here at the start-finish line.
Pits are open again, lap 141, so that leaves us with 59 left. Anybody who hasn't stopped is now the time. That's going to be the question.
I do believe we will see the leaders who didn't pit the previous time come on down. So I think we'll see Zane Smith. I think we'll see Sheldon Creed, Chase Purdy, and the gang. Christian Eckes played this out just perfectly. If everybody else pits, he will have
back
track
up
position.
to the back right up front with fairly fresh tires. We'll see who comes down.
Doesn't look like those leaders are going to come down this time around. Chase Purdy sure is.
Yep, some are.
Carson Hocevar is.
Purdy and Hocevar for sure, and everybody else who's on the lead lap. Gus Dean, Herbst, and Braden all head down pit road.
Well, once Chase Purdy.
Hocevar, a lot of adjustment in the right rear, putting right side tires on the car, working on the left front. Carson Hocevar still up in the air.
Chase Purdy's got right side.
Hocevar's away.
That's all for him. 27 of trims. Braden, same thing. Gas right sides. A lot of action here as Hocevar comes by. He goes around the 20 car of Chandler Smith, beats him out pit road.
Wow, the edge of pit road got real busy there in a hurry. There's not a ton of room down there, really. And they all kind of jammed up in the parking lot. Well, let's see. When everybody comes, who stayed out might be the question. Zane Smith stayed out. Eckes obviously stayed out. Sheldon Creed stayed out. I think everyone behind them pitted.
And once Chase Purdy came down pit road, everybody else behind him kind of had to play their hand right there because they just weren't going to be able to compete with Purdy on those fresh tires. And I think we're within that window, 57 laps to go. And no guarantee that we're going to have another caution flag. So Zane Smith, I think his bed's made right now. He's going to have to kind of live with what he's got. Christian Eckes is going to be very aggressive on this restart. The question is, will those tires that Eckes have still be fresh enough to hold off the guys who just stopped?
Well, these caution laps probably help the tire conservation situation. So the more yellows we get probably benefits him. But we'll see. I think basically now all pit stops are done. Routine stops are done anyway. So this is going to be a more or less a 50-lap run to the finish once we get back under green flag conditions.
One to go this time around. So we will see the lights off on the pace truck. Zane Smith and Christian Eckes up on the front row. Eckes looking for win number 3 of the 2018 season. Looking to go back-to-back after picking up the win at the Illinois State Fair last Sunday afternoon. Springfield Mile, slinging some dirt. We're going to do it again next Monday. Labor Day Monday down at Des Moines, Illinois. Another State Fair Speedway down there at the Des Moines State Fair. So Monday afternoon we will go racing for 100 laps, 100 miles on the Magic Mile, the only national touring stock car series that races on dirt twice. Of course, the NASCAR Cape and Roll Trucks has their dirt race down at Eldora. We do it twice here in the ARCA Racing Series. Field now starting to pick up pace over in turns 3 and 4. Zane Smith, Christian Eckes up on the front row. Denise Engel with the green flag in hand. It's back in the breeze, and we are racing with 55 laps to go here in the Primera Plastics 200. And Zane Smith with the jump. And here comes Christian Eckes down the backstretch.
They get close down the inside. Eckes has got a heavy challenge on the inside of Creed. Creed makes contact, more contact again.
He's going to move him out of the way.
Bump and bang in 3 and 4 and the front stretch, and that's one way to move around is bang your way through. Not the funnest way probably in his mind, but it worked. Now he's in the second position.
And Chase Purdy getting into the back of Riley Herbst right there in a battle for the 4th position. Riley back on the lead lap, picking up the free pass, a couple of cautions ago, and there you see Christian Eckes again to the bottom side of Sheldon Creed down the backstretch in the battle for that second position. Eckes going to drift up the racetrack just a little bit and take that racing line away from Sheldon Creed. Give Eckes the advantage here at the start-finish line, but Sheldon Creed still trying to stay in contact as the laps start to tick away here. 52 laps to go now here in the Primera Plastics 200.
So closing in on the final chapter here, the last 50 laps. Smith's lead, about 0.3 of a second, is all that equates to about a car length or so. Now less than a car length over Eckes. Sheldon Creed runs 3rd. Chase Purdy and Chandler Smith, your top 5.
There's Eckes now on the back bumper of Zane Smith off turn 4. Eckes to the bottom side of the racetrack. He's going to pull even down into turns 1 and 2. And again, those fresh tires, light work for Christian Eckes. He's going to take over the lead here on lap 150. 150 laps in, 50 laps to go as Christian Eckes now back to the front of the field in that number 15 JBL.com Toyota.
Car was good before. After he pitted, it was real good, and now it's even gooder again, if that's a thing.
Gooder. It is now.
48 laps to go. The tires got several laps, good laps. We'll watch the lap time. 17.2 that time. We've seen him drop off as far as 18 seconds plus. That time is 17.3 for your leader.
Creed really had to get woed up right there, and now Chase Purdy all over. Here comes Chandler Smith, a 3-wide battle for position off into turns 3 and 4. Matt, that doesn't work too often right there.
Especially not with these ARCA cars, especially.
We've got Riley Herbst sideways over there in turn 3.
Yep.
And that will bring out the caution flag for the 4th time here tonight.
Well, much like we've seen here before, we went 120, 130 with almost nothing, and now Mr. Caution Flag appears again at lap 153.
A little spotty yellow fever here in the Primera Plastics 200. Well, I think this is the caution flag that Zane Smith was looking for. Finally, the caution flag Zane Smith was looking for.
Well, this is going to be it. Let's watch the replay here, see exactly what happened. Oh.
Like he just got in there a little hard.
The all by myself trick. So Riley Herbst, who had a solid run earlier in the night, does a...
Got the old Eric Eric Carmen song. Is that what you're thinking right there?
Yeah, and then I think who recovered that? Celine Dion did that? I think.
Might have been.
Eric Carmen did it first.
Mariah Carey, one or the other.
Mariah Carey, that's it. Yeah, sorry. Celine Dion did the Titanic song.
That's
I'll get
right.
That right. But yes, Eric Carmen did it first. Good knowledge on your music there.
It's that's taps my music knowledge. I think that might be pretty sad actually. It's been a very interesting race to this point, Matt. I think. Anytime you see the type of side-by-side racing that we've had, they mix in a little pit strategy, mix in some little incidents out there on the racetrack. This is exactly what we thought we were going to see here tonight, including that long 130-lap green flag run to open things off here. I have to wonder, does Zane Smith come on down pit road this time around? Pits are open. If he doesn't, I think that's it for the night for him. I think he's going to kind of live with what he's got.
Well, we're going to find out.
Right there, he's going to make that hard left-hand turn, bring the number 41 on down for tires. We're sending down to pit road and see what Zane Smith is up to down there.
Zane Smith is in, coming to you, Tyler.
Looks like he's going to go just 2 tires right now. Looks like right sides only for the 41 car. No gas right now, just 2 tires right now as we got more action is coming in there. The 77 of Joe Graff Jr. is in. Back in the pits is Riley Herbst, as well as Rick Clifton coming in front of me. Looks like they will go right sides on the 18 car, right sides as well for Joe Graff Jr. Right sides is Rick Clifton as well. Off is the 18 and the 77. Riley Herbst will get there first.
Brad Smith getting 2 adjustments, checking the rear end. They send him back out.
All right, so a little bit of everything down there. Kind of a potluck of adjustments, everything from fuel to adjustments to right side tires only, but we could probably officially say that that's it for pit stops of any routine maintenance. I think everybody's got what they're going to get now with 45 laps to go.
Certainly for the lead lap cars. Anytime they come on down from here on out, it's going to be for some sort of unplanned or catastrophic reason. Will be interesting to see if those right side tires pay off for Zane Smith here with, 44 laps yet to go.
Joe Graff comes around and he'll be the lucky dog, I believe. He makes his way around the racetrack.
That is correct. So that'll give us what?
10 cars back in the lead lap. We were down as low as about 8 at one point. Just looking down there, there's a puddle that just refuses to evaporate down there. I'm not sure what exactly that's about. It's been there all day.
Anybody who wins tonight could kind of use that as a bleach box down there for their burnouts. Could be a little smoky down there.
They already did that. The super late model winner Chris Kozlik spun down there and splashed earlier. So just wonder why that's not evaporating. Well, wonder what's in that little pond down there. 156. That leaves us with just a handful, 40 laps and change to go. Everybody's pitted who needs to pit or wanted to pit. Eckes has got fresh tires, but a lot of other people do too. You got to wonder who's saving anything, if we're going to see any more caution flags. It feels like it's getting a little dicier up front as we're getting down here the last 40 laps.
Well, every lap that we go, I think the intensity level ratchets up 2 to 4%. So I think by the time we get to, another 40 laps, it's going to be 80% more intense than it is right now. And I don't know how it can get more intense than what we saw in the last couple of green flag restarts. We saw Sheldon Creed get really aggressive there with Chandler Smith, and Chandler ended up on the losing end of that one. But then there you go, he's sitting in second, Sheldon Creed back in third. So sometimes those caution flags play out just the right way. Get a little quick pit stop and a good restart, and there you have it. You've regained everything that you've lost. Chandler Smith up to second, looking for career win number 2. He did pick up the win at Madison International Speedway, first career win back in the month of June. Just turned 16 years of age a couple of weeks ago. So Chandler Smith looking for career win number 2 at the ripe old age of 16. I think if you added the combined age of the front row, you would have, it would come out to 33.
That's a little frightening.
I'm 46. Makes me feel very, very old.
Oh, you missed your chance. You missed your racing chance. I guess you have to sit upstairs.
That's
next
exactly
best thing. Be
That's
super
exactly
fan.
it. So I'm happy to be here. I don't know about anybody else, but doing what I want to do. And I know these guys are putting on a great show here tonight. Lights are off on the pace truck. Chris Janekis and his Venerini Motorsports teammate Chandler Smith leading the field to the green. A couple of MDM Motorsports teammates back in row number 2. Sheldon Creed to the inside, Chase Purdy to the outside. And the hometown favorite Carson Hocevar sitting back in 5th, Gustine in 6th. Lights are out on the pace truck. Pace truck is in, green flags back in the air, and Christian Eckes with the jump here. He's going to lead the field off into turns 1 and 2.
Big jump indeed. They get a little stacked up again in the front as they try to separate out just a little bit, and they do. Side-by-side battle for the 4th and 5th position now. That's between Purdy and Hocevar. That's the only side-by-side battle for the top 5. As Hocevar is going to take that spot away and move up to 4th. Was he saving stuff now? Look to the inside battle for 3rd.
Just like he did early in the race, Carson Hocevar starting to come alive deeper into this run as we go. And look at that battle at the front of the field. Chandler Smith to the bottom side of his teammate Christian Eckes to the outside. Side-by-side for the lead down into 1.
Side-by-side for the lead, side-by-side for 3rd and 4th, too. So you got some good battles all over the racetrack. Moves Hocevar up to 3rd, and the battle up front is not over by any stretch.
These two had a great battle for the win at Salem Speedway earlier in the season. Christian Eckes came off the winner in that one. Chandler Smith ended up in the outside wall on the final lap. Now Smith, he's going to nose to the front of the field down the backstretch. Give the lead to Chandler Smith as they work their way off of turn 4 to complete lap 163, just 37 laps to go. And Chandler Smith is going to take the command up at the front of the field.
All right, so Smith now 3 car lengths already over Eckes. Hocevar now solidly in 3rd. All that strategy about sitting and waiting, whether it's intentional or not, looks like it's going to pan out. Chase Purdy up to 4th. That's how they run everybody single file now in the top 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No one's stepping on the line until we get a little farther back.
Don't forget, Chandler Smith had that spin, what about 30 laps ago? Had to come down and take right side tires. Those tires working to his advantage right now. He has jumped out to the lead. He's pulled out about a 5-car length lead as we wind down to the conclusion. 164 laps in the books. Just 36 remain here in the Primera Plastics 200.
Oh, the battle for 3rd's heating up now again as Purdy looks down the inside of Hocevar. Boy, they don't make contact, but they sure get close. Side-by-side battles. They head up on the front stretch now. Hocevar fighting for everything to keep the position. He's going to lose it, put him back to 4th, and he's going to take Zane Smith possibly with him down to the inside.
Zane Smith has those fresh right side tires. He's down to the bottom side of the racetrack. Hocevar washes up, so he's going to give up that position. Carson Hocevar dropping back to 5th. He's going to lose a couple of positions that time around.
Meanwhile, the lead is stretched out. It's almost getting close to a second or so. Chandler Smith over Christian Eckes. Once he got around, he continued to drive away. Winding down the laps now, coming up on 169 this time. 31 laps to determine this one. We keep it all green. It's going to be more who's got what's left in the tires, I would imagine, as this one begins to wind down just a little bit. Field getting a little bit more spread out with just 30 laps to go.
Right now, Chandler Smith, the fastest car on the racetrack. He's opened up about a 1 second advantage over Christian Eckes in second. Chase Purdy holding on to 3rd. Zane Smith, Carson Hocevar rounding out your top 5. Hocevar now feeling some pressure from Riley Herbst. He's going to get a tap. Hocevar is going to go around in turns 3 and 4. That will bring out the caution flag yet again.
Yep, so he got bumped. Now, Hocevar, I don't think, still has 2 tires to take, possibly. I think he's only pitted once. We'll find out.
If he has tires down in the pits, that may be his saving grace here tonight, but I actually do believe he did come down.
You could be
both
right.
Times.
There's one way to find out. If he goes down and takes
now,
tires.
that's not to say that he can't put tires on that he's already taken off, as we got to look at the instant replay here, that camera over in turns 3 and 4, and there you see Riley Herbst.
Just a little contact.
Getting into him just a little bit there. As we said, getting a little more intense, that action out of the racetrack, a little more take and a little less give at this point in the race. There's some contact right there in the battle for that 3rd position. Chase Purdy and Zane Smith got together, and right behind them, there you see Carson Hocevar getting turned sideways. And note he doesn't light those tires up as he tries to get that car spun around. Tire conservation is such a big deal here. He doesn't even want to light them up getting turned around. Now 29 laps to go here in the Primera Plastics 200.
Yeah, so we're already looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. These 5 caution flags already. And that's one we talked about going maybe caution free. That theory quickly blown out of the window about lap 120. Pits are open. We'll see if anybody decides to partake as we're winding down the laps here. 28 laps to go. See if Hocevar pits or anybody decides to pit. So far, no dice. What do you think? Is Hocevar coming in? Yes, no, maybe so.
About to find out. I think
Yes, he is. All right, now to you guys.
Hocevar's in the pit. He comes to a stop in front of his crew. They're putting an adjustment in the left rear, checking the tire temperatures in the left. Not changing tires, guys. Just
want to make sure those tires aren't flat spotted.
Right sides right now for Sheldon Crean. Gas and go for the points leader in the 28 car as he goes back on the track now.
Okay.
the racetrack.
George, thank you very much. Okay, so Sheldon Creed and Carson Hocevar are the only two cars on the lead lap that partook in the pit situation. So both of those guys going to have to work their way up, but now slightly or more worn tires depending on when you pitted. But kind of a tough number this late in the going, Charlie. I think to come back from 7th or 8th to have a shot at it, but stranger things have happened. I was told, I don't know if this is true because it's mostly cloudy, it's a full moon tonight. I don't know if that's true. The racetrack I was at last night, everybody says it was tomorrow. Everyone was pointing at it. So I'm supposedly, behind the clouds somewhere, there's a full moon.
I don't think it counts if you can't see it.
Oh, okay. Oh, there's a picture of it.
Oh, no, there we go.
Full moon camera, guys. There it is. Proof's in the pudding. Is tonight a full moon? There it is. That's about as full as it gets. So
we could go off the rails here.
You're welcome for your jinx right there.
Pretty aggressive moves in the Hocevar pit. They took 2 turns on the left side and 2.5 turns on the right side. Got the feeling they're settling the back of that one down to go.
Makes sense. It looks like he was struggling a little bit there mid-race, though made up some positions there and then kind of faded back a little bit. But at this point, 25 laps to go, you got to go for it. Can Hocevar get past all the what we call the ARCA regulars, I guess, for lack of a better term, guys in the points chase, and pick one up here today? Or is it going to be Smith, Reckes, Purdy, Zane Smith, Herbst, Raff, Gus Dean, all in the lead lap, along with Travis Braden. He's done well here in the past.
You know, Matt, I don't know much, but I do know that we are going to see some very aggressive moves on this restart. We are within 25 laps to go when the green flag comes out. Lights are off on the pace truck, so we will go green flag this time around. Chandler Smith is the leader. Christian Eckes will start alongside on the front row. Chase Purdy, Zane Smith back in row 2. Riley Herbst. Joe Graff Jr. up to 6th. He was a lap down about 20 laps ago. Gus Dean, Travis Braden, Sheldon Creed, and Carson Hocevar round out the lead lap cars. 10 cars on the lead lap. Green flag back in the air. We're racing again with 25 laps to go. And there you see Christian Eckes trying to keep that car to the outside. He's going to look to the inside now down the backstretch. Can he pull alongside? Eckes to the inside going into 3.
Boy, Eckes shot it down in there, quickly shot up to the front. Dicey
some
move.
contact there.
Contact indeed. He shoves back. Oh, more contact.
More contact.
Thought he was going to catch the wall. He kept it together, and boy, your predictions were dead on. They are dicing up there. 15 cars off the pace. Hocevar, be careful. Eckes majorly off the pace.
I believe Eckes got up into the outside wall. He either has a flat right front tire or some damage to the suspension.
We're going to get a caution here.
Pace.
Yeah, he's going too slow. I think we're going to get a caution flag here. He can't get off the race.
Looks like a flat left front tire, and he's going to bring that car down to the inside of the racetrack. Boy, that strategy worked out almost perfectly for Christian Eckes. As now he has got a flat left front tire, and he is way off the pace, making his way down to pit road. So a good night gone bad in a hurry for Christian Eckes.
Now, intense moments up front. Everyone was fighting for the lead, so Eckes is DOA. He's going to be several laps down. Heartbreaker for him. Good run nonetheless.
He drove it off into turns 3 and 4 and really drove it in deep and tried to get back in line after Chandler Smith was able to work his way past, and a lot of contact was made, and that is what cut down that left front tire. And boy, Chandler Smith.
Contact in 3 and 4.
Big contact.
Cars into the wall. Everybody checks up. And wow.
Chase Purdy and Riley Herbst involved over in turns 3 and 4. That was a battle for the 3rd position. Second time Riley Herbst has made some contact with someone going off into turns 3 and 4 in the last 10 laps. Riley getting a little aggressive as we come into the final stages here in the Primera Plastics 200.
So those two cars who had been running 3rd and 4th will now be 7th and 8th. So that'll move everybody up. Look
at the replay here, Matt, and
we were watching it.
There you see that battle for 3rd, and looks like Riley just got to the bottom of the racetrack. Those left side tires to the bottom. Looks like he clipped the dirt and drifted up the racetrack. Chase Purdy was there and they both went around. Nope, didn't get
touch
down to the bottom side of the
he
racetrack, just drifted up a little bit. Good camera work right there by the crew here at Berlin Raceway. I know you guys stream these races just about every week on Fans Choice TV.
Yes.
We certainly appreciate you allowing us to kind of piggyback with you and stream it on our website here at arcaracing.com.
No problem at all. Our video crew now this group's been with us here for several years, and they've gotten really good at it. And
one of the great things about coming to Berlin, this is one of the few short tracks in the country that has a live video board over there in turns 3 and 4. Great to see, and I'll tell you what a great crowd here tonight. Everybody having a great time here at Berlin Raceway, maybe except Chase Purdy right now. I bet you he's not too happy inside that number 8 automobile after some contact right there, as we are now within 20 laps to go, lap 182 this time by.
Well, the good news is, if there's any good news, we still have 18 laps to go. There's still a chance to make up some time. Not a lot, but it's more than 5 laps. It's going to be about 15 probably by the time we get back to green flag conditions here. So as a result of that, this could change up the front dynamic a little bit. Is Chandler Smith and Zane Smith front row, Joe Graff and now Carson Hocevar, who had been there just kind of hanging in there, now finds himself in the 4th position. Let's go to pit road. Looks like they're checking the cars out.
Yeah, we got Purdy coming in. Looks like right side's here for the 8 car, left side's here for the 18. A lot of action here trying to get these two guys back on the track, trying to get them going here.
So some late race adjustments in tires here to see what they can do in the last 15.
Some late race drama as well. Some contact kind of spicing things up at the front of the field. We're going to have...
Nothing beats the comforts of home. Introducing new Scott Comfort Plus. It's 3 times stronger for unbeatable comfort. It's how Scott Comfort Plus families keep life rolling.
And you know, the driver with the freshest tires at the front of the field, I know these only got right side tires, but right now the freshest tires in the field, Joe Graff Jr. sitting back in 3rd, driving for Chad Bryant Motorsports. You know,
he kind of snuck up there.
He has. He's been very quiet tonight, but he's methodically worked his way up into that 3rd position. Joe had a great run at Talladega earlier in the season. You know, statistically, it was a tie at start-finish. 0.000. That is the official margin of victory, but going back to the photo finish camera, Zane Smith was ahead by about 2 inches at the stripe. So losing it in the closest way possible. There you see Natalie Decker getting the free pass.
So that'll put, looks like 10 cars back in the lead lap. Let's go to pit road.
Christian X coming back inside. He got left sides after he blew a tire there. Back coming in here is Hurst. It looks like maybe an adjustment there on the right front side. Right side tires now for Herbst gas for him. Or excuse me, not Herbst. That was 15 of X. Right side and gas. Something is amiss on the 18 car. Maybe something that happened when him and Purdy got together, trying to get him back out there, trying to fix that right front.
They better go, because white flag is at 1 to go for the field right now. 1 until we go back to green. It's only 16 laps to go, so that Herbst is going to have to fly it out here and catch the tail of the field if they want any shot to be any part of this race. They're going to have to come all the way through that lap traffic too, so that's going to be a tough feat. 16 laps is the distance. Chandler Smith, Zane Smith, Carson Hocevar, Joe Graff, your top 4. Then it's Travis Braden and Sheldon Creed. That's the way they run. 16 laps. Who's got anything left in the tank? We'll find out now.
I think we've seen the last caution flag of the night.
I don't.
It's going to get crazy up at the front of this one. It's already been crazy. Joe Graff Jr., I think, is sitting in the catbird seat right now.
I'm not a big betting man in Vegas, but been here long enough to know I think we're probably going to see one more. Maybe not. Either way, it's going to be a heck of a race shaping up.
And Carson Hocevar back in business, sitting in the 4th position. Carson has had a pretty interesting second half of the race. There you see the green flag back out. Drivers on the hammer. Zane Smith spinning the tires. That's going to allow Joe Graff Jr. to jump up into that 2nd position. Travis Braden now trying to find a way down to the bottom side of Zane Smith down the backstretch. Braden trying to make his way up into 3rd.
Wow, heavy traffic up front. You've got worn tires, hot drivers, and about 15 laps to go as they try to get this one all figured out. The upper lane did not go on that restart, kind of shuffled everybody back. Carson Hocevar smacks in the backside of Travis Braden trying to get around. Now he shoves down to the inside.
Big shot to the back bumper of Travis Braden. He's going to move Braden out of the way and take over that 4th position. Slip and slide, dip and dive. Carson Hocevar taking over 4th.
Got to go for it. We're around out of time. A little more contact, a little farther back. They're not making contact. It sure looks like it. That's the battle between for Sheldon Creed, Gus Dean, part of that mix, as they still continue to stack up a little bit farther back. We're winding them down. 13, make that 12 to go this time by.
And look who is on the move. Joe Graff Jr. starting to reel in Chandler Smith at the front of the field. It's a 0.4 of a second gap at the front. Let's see if Joe Graff can continue to reel him in. He was a 1/10 of a second quicker the last time around. Let's see what it is this time around. Joe Graff Jr., he's going to be about even with him that time around. Still 0.4 of a second up at the front of the field. Chandler Smith now coming to complete lap 190 this time around. Just 10 laps to go in the Primera Plastics 200 here at Berlin Raceway. Joe Graff Jr. was even quicker that time around. Another 1/10 of a second off the gap at the front of the field. Just 0.3 of a second up for the lead.
He's catching them for the first time in several laps. The field kind of spread out quickly. We haven't seen that the last couple of few restarts. This time they've spread out. It looks like it's going to come down to Charlie Wade setting up the front two cars. Smith and Graff Jr. will keep an eye on the time, slowly reeling him in. He may run out of time here. 8 laps is all he's got to do. It's down to 5 car lengths again.
Joe Graff Jr. drove it in deep into turns 3 and 4 that time around. He is just 5 car lengths off the back deck. There you see a little smoke off those tires. Joe Graff Jr. really cooking it in tight. Down into turns 1 and 2, lighting those brakes up. Joe Graff Jr. trying to get everything he can out of that number 77 big time Ford. Coming to complete lap 193, just 7 to go here at Berlin.
Doing everything he can to reel him in. It's official time that time. Let's see, was the scoring catches up here? About the same, about 0.3 or so. Really driving it hard down in the inside, but it's not going to be enough at this rate.
Ooh, he's going to get sideways there off of turn 4. Going to give up some ground to Chandler Smith at the front of the field. Joe Graff Jr. really working hard to try to catch Chandler Smith. We are running out of laps. 5 laps to go this time around for Chandler Smith. Can Joe Graff Jr. catch him? Again, kicking that car sideways off of turn 4.
Battle, a little side-by-side battle a little farther back. Thought we might get a caution flag. Still can't do it. He's there using up every little bit of this racetrack down to the inside. Even shoving it down the apron. There again, he's with the car length. He's right of the back bumper. Not there. He's got 4 more laps to do it. Couple lap cars, 1 more lap car to deal with before this one's over.
Joe Graff Jr. was to the bumper of Chandler Smith. Now he's got about 2 car lengths back down the backstretch. Let's see what he does here off into turns 3 and 4. Joe Graff Jr. again very aggressive, driving in deep into turns 3 and 4, straight off of turn 4. He is there. We now have just 4 laps, make it 3 laps remaining here at Berlin Raceway. Joe Graff Jr. trying to reel in Chandler Smith down the backstretch. Coming to 2 to go this time around.
He's right there again. He's right of the back bumper. Can't catch him. He's able to pull away in the front stretch. This is about as close as he's been. 2 laps to go. He's on the back bumper in 1 and 2. Stretches out about a car length. Just can't quite get there. He can get there, but just not enough to go around.
Let's see if Joe Graff Jr. can get to his bumper here in turns 3 and 4. Coming to the white flag this time around. Chandler Smith. 1 lap to go here in the Primera Plastics 200. He's down into turns 1 and 2. Joe Graff Jr. 1 car length back down the backstretch. Will Joe Graff Jr. make a move down into turns 3 and 4? Graff is there. He's going to get to the back bumper. Chandler Smith is around. Joe Graff Jr. will take the lead and come to the checkered flag. Joe Graff Jr. No. Yellow flag is out. Oh, my goodness. Yellow flag is out. So I take all that back.
We got to do that again? Wow.
Well, that does give Joe Graff Jr. the lead, but that doesn't give him the win. Wow. Well,
Goodness.
We knew we were going to see some action.
Well,
we knew we were going to see another caution flag.
Well, there it is at lap 199 or 200, the board says.
Officially, the caution's going to come out at lap 200. So here's how this is going to work. Since the white flag was out, we will have a 1-lap dash to the checkered once we go back racing. We will give the green and the white flag together. We will have a 1-lap dash. Joe Graff Jr. will be scored as your leader. Zane Smith will be second, Carson Hocevar third, Travis Braden fourth, and Sheldon Creed fifth. First time this year, I think, that we've had a spin coming to the checkered. Very interesting. I would not want to be in Chandler Smith's helmet right now. I think there's probably some frustration boiling over in the number 20 automobile right now, but in any case, what a move there. Joe Graff Jr., I kind of had to know that that was coming. He definitely was going to try to get him, get to that back bumper and make the move and move him up the racetrack, but
wow. Well, that full moon thing, I think it just happened.
Yeah, you got us.
All right. So, it's
the replay.
Well, we were all watching it.
A couple of lap cars there. There's the two leaders, and there he goes. He got him. Chandler Smith going around. Joe Graff Jr. thought he was coming to the checkered, and instead Denise Engel waved the yellow flag that locked down scoring. And that there's another shot of this action down in turns 3 and 4. And Joe Graff, he was very aggressive going into turns.
He had to run. He had to go for it, and unfortunately,
that was his only shot. And unfortunately, Chandler Smith went around. So Joe Graff Jr. will take the lead. Zane Smith will hold on to second. We will have a 1-lap dash for cash here in the Primera Plastics 200. Can Joe Graff Jr. pick up career win number 1? So close to victory. And actually, these two at the front of the field, this is the top two at Talladega earlier in the season. Zane Smith ended up the winner. And again, we just talked about it. It was a statistical tie. 0.000 was the margin of victory. Was officially about a 2-inch margin of victory. And again, just want to remind you, we will have the green and white together.
So one lap.
Give us a one-lap dash for cash here in the Primera Plastics.
One revolution, one time around, that is the race. Oh boy. Well, everybody, what a great way to end the asphalt season at Berlin Raceway. Thank you so much for coming. This one's going to end in wild fashion if it hasn't already. 1 to go for the final lap of the regular season here at Berlin Raceway before we put the dirt on it in September.
And you have to know, Joe Graff Jr.'s heart is about to jump out of his chest.
It's jumping out of mine, and I'm not even in the car.
Looking for career win number 1. He only has to do, get one clean restart, make one clean lap, and hold off 10 other drivers.
What's the old saying? You have just one job. You have one job to do.
Just one job to do. That's it. Zane Smith to the outside. Carson Harsfire, hey, he could be in the catbird seat here if something goes haywire here on the last lap.
Now the full moon's out. We're already 5 laps in overtime. Why not?
Pace truck is in. Field now in the command of Joe Graff Jr. He's got the field picking up the pace there in turns 3 and 4. Denise Engel with the green flag in hand. It is out, and we are racing for a 1-lap dash. And look, here we go, scrambling 3 wide down into turns 1 and 2. There's some contact there. Hocevar is in to Joe Graff Jr. That's going to give Zane Smith the lead down the backstretch. Let's see what happens here as they go off into turns 3 and 4. Look at Joe Graff to the inside. He's going to move Zane Smith out of the way. Side by side on a turn 4. Who's it going to be?
Wow.
Joe Graff Jr. is your winner here at Berlin. Oh my goodness, what a finish.
Wow.
Wow. What a finish. Joe Graff Jr. to the inside of Zane Smith. Let's take a look and see if we've got a margin of victory. 0.04 of a second. Here at the start-finish line, Joe Graff Jr. picking up career win number 1.
Arguably one of the best finishes to the ARCA Racing's history ever here. What a finish. Fans, let's give it up. How about that race? Wow. How about that?
Oh, my goodness, race fans. That was a finish. Joe Graff Jr. almost back into third, going down into turn 3 on that final lap. Look at this replay.
We have to watch this again. I think I'm going to pass out. All right.
There he is after the checkered flag. I think he's a little excited right there. He's already got the hand out the window as he's doing some donuts down here in turn 3. A little damage right there. There's some battle
That's
scars.
probably that 3 wide thing there at the end. The paycheck's just as good whether it's crumpled up or not. Wow.
Replay of that move going down into turns 3 and 4. Wow. He drove it in as hard as you possibly could to keep it going in the right direction, and there he is, about a half a car length there at the finish. Joe Graff picking up career win number 1.
Wow. What a race. So your top 5 or top 10, Joe Graff, Zane Smith, Travis Braden, Carson Hocevar, Gus Dean, and Sheldon Creed, Chandler Smith, Chase Purdy, Riley Herbst, and Natalie Decker rounds out your top 10. Wow.
And there is your finish. Joe Graff Jr. by about 3 or 4 feet there at the start-finish line. Incredible. Kind of a reversal from what we had at Talladega. Oh, we've got some tempers down here at start-finish. So tempers down here. Car owner Billy Venerini not too happy with some of that action out on the racetrack. Short track tempers boiling over here at Berlin. In any case, Joe Graff Jr. celebrating win number 1 of his ARCA Racing Series career here in the Primera Plastics 200. Matt, I got to get back downstairs and get back to work. Thank you so much for having me up here in the booth. Thank you again to everybody here at Berlin for allowing us to stream this one live, as we've got some what promises to be a very entertaining Victory Lane celebration going on down there with Joe Graff and the Chad Bryant Motorsports crew.
Certainly a memorable one here tonight, Charlie. Thanks for being a part of it. I'll let you get back down there. Safe travels back. And fans, as soon as we get things cleared up, everything wrapped up down on the front stretch, we welcome you down to the pits as well. Not only to see the ARCA cars here, but all of our champions tonight. We'll have a little championship celebration coming up here a little bit later on tonight as well. So what a finish here for the Primera Plastics 200 as we put a wrap on the 2018 season.